India's import of Russian crude oil dropped to its lowest level since June 2022 in November this year, reported the news agency PTI on Sunday, December 15th, citing a Center for Research on Energy and Clean Air report. The report stated that India's imports of Russian crude oil dropped by a massive 55% in November, the lowest figure since June 2022. According to the European think tank's report, Russia still remains as the largest supplier of crude oil to India, followed by Iraq and Saudi Arabia. India became the second largest buyer of Russian crude since Russia-Ukraine war began in Feb 2022. The crude oil imports from Russia to India increased to nearly 40% of India's total oil purchases, compared to its earlier level of less than 1%. The rise was attributed to the discounted crude oil prices compared to other oil suppliers over the price cap and the sanctions over purchases from Moscow. China has bought 47% of Russia's crude exports, followed by India at 37% and the European Union at 6%, Turkey at 6% again, according to the CREA report. The report also stated that India dropped to the third largest importer of Russian crude in November, which contributed to 17% of Russia's monthly export earnings from its top 5 exporters. There was a significant 22% drop in Russian revenues from crude oil exports to India in November, the report said. But it wasn't just crude oil that India was importing from Russia. From December 5th, 2022 until the end of November 2024, China purchased 46% of all Russia's coal exports, while India purchased 17% of it, Turkey purchased 11%, South Korea 10%, and Taiwan 5%, according to the CREA report. In November, there was a 17% month-on-month increase in the discount on Russia's Urals grade crude oil to an average of $6 per barrel compared to Brent crude oil, while the discount on the ESPO grade fell nearly 15% and was traded at an average discount of $3.88 per barrel. Even though there was a 11% month-on-month decline in the total volume of India's imports of crude oil in November, Russian volume suffered the most, dropping by a massive 55% according to the news report. India imports over 85% of its crude oil from abroad and refines it in the country.